Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dr. Simone's Mindspace. Today live from Zurich from a hot summer day. We were sweating today even in the shade, and even after a swim you don't really feel that refreshed or cooled down still, right? So now I'm gonna pass the word to a dear friend from across the Atlantic, who's lived here for 2.5 years and enjoys the sunny days of summer more, I guess, than the winter crazy cold days. So I will pass the word to Marie, and she will probably introduce her friend who she has organized an event tonight at the lake. And I'm very excited to be part. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Simone. So my name is Marie, and I actually have been a guest on your podcast back late winter, I would say.
Yeah, that's
and
true, when it was cold and frosty.
Yes, and I think we talked about tips on how to survive winter. So now this survive summer. Exactly. So luckily we are now standing in the shade at Renton Vise in Zurich. We are about to start a yoga session soon. So currently I'm doing a series called the Empowerment Series, where for 4 weeks it's a yoga session followed by a brand or a person coming to share their unique health business. So today we are actually joined by my dear friend Denise, where we've only met in person twice, but I feel like I've known her much longer. And she is a nutritionist who focuses on nutrition with the woman's cycle. So super excited to have her. We're going to have a feel-good yoga flow, and then she's going to chat about the woman's cycle and how you can pair food to match each season, and then we're going to eat some food. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Denise, and she's going to share a little bit of an overview about the phases we go through of the woman's cycle.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Simone and Marie, to have me here. I'm really grateful that I can do that today with you and with many powerful women. So my name is Denise, as was already told, and I founded FemFlow Power because I wanted women to know that their cycle is something very powerful that they can use for them if they really know how their cycle looks like. And actually, it's all about the cycle and the nutrition, because if we understand that we're cyclic and that we have 4 different seasons that we're going through, and we sync our food to that cycle, we can really use our cycle for us, and we don't have to work against it, because when we do that, we often just don't feel well and we have pain during our cycle, or we have some...
I just met somebody today and I dropped her a bag of CBD products against menstruational pain. But I think it's such an important topic that is so under the radar, and nobody really talks about it unless you are with a very intimate group. And it's a pity, because a lot of women suffer, me includingly, have had issues, and if you hear around, a lot of women have issues, especially also when you want to build a family, etc., right? So,
yeah, that's true. And because many women just have these issues, and they talk with other women that also have these issues, they think that's normal, but it's not normal, because when we have pain in our body, it's a sign from our body that we have to change something.
Right.
And that's the reason why I started to teach women to get to know the cycle, because first you have to know that something is wrong, that you can change it. And our cycles works like that. It always starts with our menstruation. That's the day 1 of our cycle. And the menstruation is like the winter, because we need to calm down and our energy needs to rest.
Yeah. I like that very much.
But our season starts with the winter, and so that's the time for the rest, and we have low energy. And in this phase, we need foods that are comfy. So it's like the outer winter. You know, you can imagine if winter is outside, you want some food that makes you feel good and you just want to rest. And it's also with our cycle. Then after the menstruation, there's the inner spring. That's how I call that, because your follicle in your body is getting ready, and you're getting ready to get maybe pregnant, and in this phase you have more energy and you are ready to go out and to chat with people and you want to try some new things. And in this phase your body needs some nutrition that's not that comfy as in the winter phase, but you need some nutrition that just gives you the power for the spring. And after the spring, there's the summer. And summer is the phase where you can get pregnant if you want to. And that's the phase where you have the most energy. You feel like you can do everything, because from the nature, our body is old body, and you have to feel good and look good, because if you would want to get pregnant, you need men to like you. And that's why we have that energy to really be ready for that. And when we don't get pregnant, after this phase, there comes the autumn. And in the autumn, we start to slow down and we just want to get things done. And that's the part of the menstruation where many women have some issues, like they are very emotional and they have more appetite and they are not that strong as in the summer phase. And that's totally okay, because your body is getting ready for the menstruation. And
that's amazing.
If you just
the analogy, I love it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and if you compare it to the seasons, you can always, when you feel you're in that phase, you can just think like, okay, if there were the other autumn or summer or spring, how would I eat? Like, what there is there in the season?
So cool.
And it's so simple.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah, so first of all, it's important to understand your cycle, and once you do, you can sync the food to your cycle, so you can really help in each phase to your body just to get the right nutrition to really produce the hormones that are needed. Because when you do that, then you don't have pain and cramps, because your body always gets the things it needs to work. It's like building a house. If you don't have the right material, you can build a right house. And
I like that.
Yeah,
this analogy I'm using when I talk about perinatal mental health and the importance of early childhood development, that you've built on a house on a good fundament, right?
Yeah, the right fundament, exactly. That's the word what I was searching for. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. And I also like to show women that when they take the pill, they don't really have the cycle, and many women doesn't even know that, because when they're taking the pill, they don't have a real menstruation and they don't ovulate and they can get pregnant. So it all starts with just realizing what is possible and what's not normal, so we can change something. And that's what I want to do. I want to empower women to just live in sync with their cycle, and so they can really use their power in every phase, and they see it as something that makes them strong and not weak, because we are different than men, and that's what we need to use for us.
Thank you for saying that, because I have so many times felt that this equality has to be like, oh, we're the same, we can do everything like men do. And I'm like, it's a pity if you want to become a man, because it's not, we are not. And I had a hard time to really do that too as a scientist. You know, you want to be tough and strong, and you want to sort of put your feminine side a little away. But I felt like if I do that, I don't feel as strong as I could be, because something's like missing, right? I love fashion, I love jewelry, I love to dress feminine to a degree, but and that should be okay, even if I talk about science, you know. So I think it's really to embrace all the aspects, and that's also why I founded Une sur Cent, my female empowerment movement, to really bring women together, to inspire each other. And you two are just perfect examples for that. And I'm very happy to have you on the podcast and talk about those super important, to a degree, taboo topics, right?
Yes.
And those should be continued. And now we're gonna end here for tonight, because we're gonna do something for our mental well-being and physical well-being, and we will do some yoga now, and then we will have some nice food, I heard, as well.
Yes, for each cyclic phase.
Fantastic. Maybe you can share, just for the curiosity, what is the food for each
So spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
I won't tell anyone.
And so yeah, I can say that because if you probably listen to this podcast, we already have eaten. So
Exactly. So nothing's left.
yeah, so for the winter phase, we will have some amazing banana bread with some dark chocolate. For the spring phase, we're going to have some veggie pancakes. For the summer phase, we are going to have some energy balls and wraps with hummus. And for the autumn phase, we're going to have mango chia pudding with coconut milk. And all of these recipes are really synced to the cycle because of what the body needs in which phase, if it's carbs or if it's fats. And I will explain it afterwards why I chose these recipes for us.
Very good. And you and I will have another chat for sure. I will make sure you're going to be on the podcast again. This is fascinating. And thank you, Marie, for empowering women and bringing us together. So now
always.
We can't wait. Baby's sleeping. Everyone around is happy, ready for yoga. So we'll
Let's
jump right in there. See you next time.
having us.
Thanks
Thank you.
for listening.